All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another great episode on your favorite political talk show, The Truth with Ben Jokes. Now, the journey of pain and hopelessness continues for the common Nigerian. For a nation that has about 70% dependence on importation, the exchange rate sitting at 1,740 naira to a dollar is an aberration. The incessant borrowings of the APC has totally ruined the naira. Yesterday, our debt per capita report released staggering numbers. It says the total debt of Nigeria divided by the number of Nigerians, that is the population, reveals that each Nigerian now owes 620,000 naira. That is our debt per capita, a nation's total debt over its population. And believe me, before 2027, it will be about 3 to 5 million naira, because TINUBU and the APC will not stop borrowing. They will tell you that every country is indebted, including the United States of America. Yes, but just as Peter Obi has repeatedly said, the issue is not borrowing, but borrowing to steal and to consume. How could you have borrowed this much and the people can't feel the impact in any way? Insecurity is widespread. You can't curb that. Hunger is now a second skin. You can't do anything. Yet you have borrowed so much. You and your cronies looting the whole money. Hours ago, two devastating updates dropped out of Aso Rock, one of which shows how the numerous loans taken by the TINUBU government are being wasted. And just as Nigerians were yet reacting to that, another terrible update began making the rounds that made the first one look like a joke. These particular updates sent shocking waves across the nation. And I am sad to announce, but that which many Nigerians greatly fear might not be far from this country. Before I show you details of these terrible updates and the ugly events coming out of Aso Rock, let me quickly show you these videos. The two videos I'm about to show you will further buttress my points on the role of APC in this country. First of all, listen to this northern elder talking about the pact, the agreement that the DSS had with this putatively new terrorist group, Lakurawa. Few years ago, DSS laid their hands on this group, and instead of destroying them, the DSS went into an agreement with them. See the video.
Its violence.
All right, give me a moment. I'm also being joined in the studio by the national chairman of the SDP, who is going to also be giving us some perspective on this matter. I told you it's a national dialogue of some sort. I'm being joined by Professor Tuka, who is the National Public Secretary of the Arawa Consultative Forum. Thank you so much, Prof, for joining us. Give us an understanding. The worry of the northern leaders. When AF comes out on this kind of matter, it comes out to be a matter of national security and matter that touches the heart. What worries the ACF the most in this matter?
Very good evening to you. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you, Prof. Please go ahead.
Yes, everything Mr. Bulama has said should be a cause of worry, of course. Like he pointed out, there are so many various aspects of it. From our information, and I've carried out research in that area too, this is not a new group. In fact, when they emerged in about 2017 and 2018, I think at least the DSS is aware of it. In fact, at least one journalist who came and spoke on the issue said, yes, he had a meeting with the DSS. At that time, when everything went quiet, we thought they had been chased out, only to be told later on that actually it was a deal that they should either leave or they would be attacked. And they decided to leave and ask for time to get rid of some of the cattle they possess, whether it's cattle they took from people as a cat or not. And in fact, interestingly, it was reported that they said the cattle were sent to Lagos to be sold. As soon as they take the proceeds, they would leave.
You heard that. That was the publicity secretary of the Arewa Consultative Forum speaking in that video. The Lakurawa terrorist group, who have held down Sokoto and KEBBI states as we speak, were apprehended in their first few months of operation. The locals gave the intel and the army got them. But the DSS came into the picture and they entered into an agreement, into an evil agreement with the terrorist group. They said, leave or we will attack you. Who else knows that that was APC in action? They knew the mission of the group and they were in full support of it. That was why they freed them to go and prepare better and return. And now they have returned. So when we say the APC is the architect of this level of terror in Nigeria, we are not just saying that to demarket the party. It is facts. Now, this next video is proof that everything the APC has been saying about fighting insurgency in Nigeria is not true. The Nigerian-Niger Republic border is our largest border, and of course, it is the major border through which foreign bandits, gunmen, call it whatever, enter Nigeria. The APC knows this, yet they have neglected that border. Look at the current state of that border as described in this video.
Of our viewers, a lot of people who may not have traveled to that part of the country. Nigerian border is over 1,000 kilometers. If it travel about 100 kilometers per hour, it will take you about 10 hours to travel the length and breadth of the Nigerian border. So to give context to how wide and how big that border is, would you describe that border as porous and unmanned, or how insecure is the Nigerian border?
Look, to be specific, the Nigeria-Niger border is about 1,487 kilometers. That's over 900 miles. And to say porous is an understatement. It is open. It is completely open. You can go in and out any time of the day from hundreds of different locations. And of course, in addition to that, the terrain itself is challenging because some part of that border is forested, some part of it is desert, some part of it is mountainous, and of course, because of the criminal activities going on in northwestern Nigeria, it is very difficult for the immigration and custom officers who are not very well armed and trained to secure the border. And in addition to lack of security, shown is also the fact that there is zero infrastructure in that area. And so even where you detect particular movement that is suspicious, there is no transportation network to take you into the bushes and towards the border with the immigration vehicle or even the Nigerian army vehicle. There is also no communication network, good communication network. In many of these villages, there is no connection that is working. No phone service or signal, whether Glo or Airtel or MTN, and therefore they have to travel kilometers. Some of them will have to climb mountains before they can communicate. And in that situation, even when communities observe suspicious movement, they cannot report to anyone. And even the government officials operating there, like the customs and immigration, find it difficult to communicate in addition to corruption.
You heard that. The Nigerian-Niger border is the most important border in the fight against insurgency in this country, and it is left unmanned by the Nigerian government. Anybody, the guy said it is open. Anybody can come in as they want. Every day, some Nigerians keep complaining that gunmen are entering this country anyhow. This is why. So for those of you who are still stupid, thinking that the APC is doing something, some of you will say it is Northerners alone that are frustrating the effort. Let me tell you something. Anything you see Northerners doing, anything you see the Northern faction of the APC doing to frustrate the fight against insurgency, the southern part of APC too is aware of that thing, and they support it fully because they all sat down to draw this agreement. That is why under TINUBU, the Nigerian-Niger border is porous. It was porous under Buhari, and it is still porous under TINUBU, meaning they are on the same track. And Judo here says, the only important thing in Nigeria that matters to politicians, police, and judiciary is election. That is it. They don't care about anything else. And this tweet here says, this explains how terrorists can walk in and out of Nigeria. But it is really sad that some part of Nigeria are still living in 1960. So sad. No communication, nothing. And you are talking about gathering intelligence, the border where these people they follow enter, where everything is supposed to be intact for the locals to be able to quickly report any suspicious movement. No communication. The government does not even know that the place is existing. And Shodipe here says Nigeria is not designed to work. That is it, my brother. This country was never designed to work. And E-Africa here says divide Nigeria now. Now, let us look at those updates that have become the major talking points in the Nigerian political media space. First, it was those devastating updates coming out of Aso Rock, and next, that very terrible update that threatens the government of this country at all levels. Let's begin with the updates from Aso Rock. Look at how the papers reported it. Nigeria's finance ministry spent 55 million naira on sent forth of permanent secretary, pays money into personal account. Reporters' review of public payments portal GOVT has shown that a sum of over 55 million naira was paid into the account of one Uno Omolara for the sent forth party of Udo Okonkwo Ekanem. The payment was made by the Federal Ministry of Finance. Okonkwo served as the permanent secretary special duties of the ministry. The payment for the party was made on September 13, 2024. According to the payment description, the event was scheduled to hold at Transcorp Hilton Hotels on September 6, 2024. Further checks revealed that the event was confirmed by the Ministry of Finance on its website. The ministry had noted that it celebrated the Ekanem in appreciation of his outstanding commitment. The money spent on the sent forth was twice the amount spent to set up 28 boreholes in Jigawa State. According to details on government website, 28.3 million was spent on drilling 23 solar-powered borehole and 5 numbers hand pump boreholes in Jigawa State. This would mean that this money spent on sent forth, half of it would have provided same number of solar-powered boreholes and hand pumps in other locations of the country. And Olusegun here says, oh my God, when will this stop? How can any country develop like this? We can never develop like this. And while Nigerians were yet complaining about this unnecessary spending, 55 million naira to conduct a send forth for somebody, Nigerians say, so this is what you do with all the unnecessary loans that you have been taking. Then TINUBU, through the SGF, George Akume, released this statement. I can't solve hardship with solutions as instant as coffee, TINUBU tells Nigerians. Bola Tinubu has restated that his administration is aware of the hardship Nigerians face. According to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, who spoke for Tinubu at a service marking Pastor Tunde Bakari's 70th birthday at the Citadel in Lagos State, the economic challenges are tough, but the country is making necessary progress. Tinubu acknowledges that times are hard, but at the end of the tunnel, there is always light, Akume stated. He added, and solutions to complex problems can never be as instant as coffee, but we are on the right track. When it comes to the people, they keep saying the people should be patient. Why are you expecting government to do things instantly? You have to be patient for the reforms to begin to yield fruits. All of a sudden, they are telling us that the reforms are now yielding fruits, but we are not seeing anything. But they can use billions of naira to build residence for Shetima in Abuja, 21 billion. Now they have allocated another 5 billion naira to renovate the one in Lagos. This one is using 55 million naira for a sent forth, Wale Edun, for a sent forth party. That's why when one guy referred to them as Owambe economists, he said these are just enjoyment economists. They don't know anything. That's exactly what they are. Now, let us take that update, that devastating update that threatens government at all levels in this country. Can you imagine that terrorists have taken over Sokoto and KEBBI state to the point that the new group, Lakarua, said they will send their delegates to go and meet another terrorist Bello Turji to tell him to stop his operation, that there is another sheriff in town. Look at how the papers reported it. Leader of new terrorist group Lakurawa to send delegation to notorious bandits kingpin Bello Turji. Reporters. Amir Habib Taje, the leader of the newly emerged terrorist group Lakurawa, has issued a direct and powerful message to notorious bandits leader Bello Turji, urging him to renounce his criminal activities. Turji, a notorious bandits leader who has been on the watch list of Nigeria security agencies, has wreaked havoc in the northwest of the country with kidnapping activities and imposing levies on farmers before they can harvest their crops. In a statement posted by counter-insurgency expert Zagazola Makama on his X handle, it was reported that the terrorist leader is preparing to send a powerful delegation to bandits leader Bello Turji. According to him, in a strange turn of events, Amir Habib Taje, the influential leader of the Lakurawa group in the northwestern region of the Sokoto, is reportedly preparing to send a powerful delegation to bandit leader Bello Turji, demanding his complete renouncement of criminal activities. Earlier in November, reporters reported that at least 15 persons killed by a new jihadist group Lakurawa had been buried in KEBBI State. The state deputy governor Umar Abubakar Tafida and the emir of Argugun Samaila Muhammad Mera also attended the funeral prayers of the deceased on Friday afternoon after Mera, KEBBI State. Reporters had on November 6, 2024 reported that a newly formed jihadist group known as Lakurawa had emerged, imposing taxes and levies on communities in Sokoto State, northwest Nigeria. Also on Friday, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters officially confirmed the existence of the newly armed jihadist group Lakurawa in the country's northwestern states of Sokoto and KEBBI. The military had noted that the development was worsening security challenges in the northwest region. On Friday afternoon, the terrorists reportedly attacked Mera in KEBBI State and rustled large number of cattle. You heard that. Army nowhere to be found. Police on the run. TINUBU and Shetima absent. Terrorists have taken over Sokoto and KEBBI State to the point that they are sending delegations now to one another. What a shame. This is what the APC has reduced this country to. And Ramoto Olani here says terrorists now have diplomats in Nigeria, while the government that has been tracking and arresting innocent social media users are watching helplessly. That is it. All they know how to do is to chase after people on social media. Now look at what terrorists are doing in the north. And this tweet here by Daboliski says, meanwhile, Mr. T-Pain is in Saudi Arabia calling for ceasefire in Gaza while terrorists are taking over his country. It's so funny. You are deceiving yourself saying you are calling for a ceasefire. Look at what is happening in Nigeria. And Dapsy here says, has it gotten to this level? Terrorist organizations now openly exchange diplomatic pleasantries, and this gets reported on reporters like you would expect for sovereign nations. I won't be surprised if these people open diplomatic missions in some countries soon. What is a tragic comedy called? Please, somebody remind me and wake me from this nightmare. It's indeed a nightmare in this country. And Adania here says, so Nigeria is now a comfort zone for all kinds of terrorist groups, while police and DSS and Nigerian army are focusing on intimidating citizens and stripping them of their freedom of speech. And Bruno replied, he said, have you ever wondered what stops these terrorists from taking over Nigeria? They can if they have the numbers. Our uniformed men go home every evening as if they work for a bank or something and continue terrorizing innocent civilians next day, but run from the real criminals. One day they will eventually have the number. And that is why I said this thing they are doing is a threat to government at all levels. Because anybody that understands how these people move, they have done it. You saw what the Taliban did. They are ultimately coming for the central government. And I don't know, is it that these people are not aware of this thing? Or maybe TINUBU is aware, he's saying, make I do my own finish, then they can come and take over if they want. This could be their plan because this is the APC. There is no amount of evil that is beyond them. They have come to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And this is why we keep telling Nigerians that we have to unite and get these people out if we desire to have a country in future. Because these guys are going to uproot the very foundation of this country. Nigerians, wake up and take your country back. But until then, make I still enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political news. We una go like. Why? Because now because of una. Now I dey here, so don't go away. Don't go away.